I'm cold with my service automated, like data running through my veins. Got you distracted, subconscious overloaded. Careful, don't pull the cord on me. No time to stay around. Keep walking till you get out of my face. Regrets, restricted access. I'm just a flight to get up here. It's charging, I'm gonna waste my time with someone slowing me down. So high, I'm floating, I'm shining in my prime. Stop rolling over, 'cause you can't take my crown. I'll always be tapping off the ground. My crown. I'll always be tapping off the ground. Can't take my crown. But you don't get that courage, 'cause you can handle my game. No, my drive's a puzzle. I got you so puzzled, 'cause you can fall into my vein. No time to stay around. Keep walking till you get out of my face. Regrets, restricted access. I'm just a flight to get up here. It's charging, I'm gonna waste my time when someone's slowing me down. So high, I'm floating, I'm shining in my prime. Stop rolling over, 'cause you can't take my crown. I'll always be taking up the ground. My crown. I'll always be taking up the ground. Can't take my crown. I won't waste my love on your heart. Sorry, 'cause I can't get what I want, and I don't need it. I'm gonna waste my time when someone's slowing me down. So high, I'm floating, I'm shining in my prime. Stop rolling over, 'cause you can't take my crown. I'll always be taking up the ground. I'll always be taking up the ground. Let me feel your love again. 'Cause I've been running round in circles, screaming out your name. Take me to a different place. Just the two of us, and we can stay up all night. Listen to the street lights. Do what we want to. Do what we need to do. Staying up all night. Everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be the someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be the someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand. I didn't think I'd make it without you by my side. Let me feel your love again. Just the two of us, and we could stay up all night, kissing under the streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night. Everything is alright. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. What's up, guys? Welcome to Shawn Ide Studios, Tuesday night studio sessions. I am super excited about tonight because this is new to Shawn Ide Studios. This is our first ever planned out live stream with a special guest. So I've got on deck right now Mario Monti. It's going to be a pretty cool show. So you guys ready to bring Mario on? Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on. Oh, I got to add him. What's up, Mario? Oh, no.
Oh,
there you go. Sorry.
Okay. You worried me.
I muted your prepping.
See, I heard you crack a can of soda or something just before we started, so that reminded me to go get mine. I haven't eaten in about 26 hours. I'll be eating when I cook this food tonight. I'm doing my fast.
Wow.
OMAD, as they say, 1 meal a day.
So what are you up to?
So I'm sorry, going to turn this up. Couldn't hear you too well. So today I did some prep, and I hopefully can get this all in this session. But I got a pizza coming for you. It's going to have hamburger and bacon on it. I'm going to do the chicken wings, and both of those are going to be done in the air fryer. And well, except for the burger and the bacon, which I cooked 4 pounds of ground beef and 6 pounds of bacon and mixed that all up so that I can use it in a smorgasbord, things like tacos, pizza, omelets, everything. And then we're going to do the very simple but very tasty chaffle.
Nice.
So today, other than that, today was a work day. So I did some prep during lunchtime and then just before the jump on the show. And I'm looking, I can't see if anybody's commenting. I guess that's the benefit of having YouTube running as well, because I can't see the comments. So if you see a comment headed my way, you can just yell at me or something.
Will do. So I'm kind of new to this whole StreamYard thing. So there are some overlays that I have to turn off by hand and a couple different things. So I'm going to turn these off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go kind of bigger screen.
Oh, nice. There you go. That's perfect.
You look like a tiny man.
Half the man I used to be. Not quite half, but if anybody who's listening and who doesn't know me, I'm Mario. I have a YouTube page. It's called just my name, Mario Monti. So if anything you see here today, if you're curious more about it, you can head there. But officially, I call it Mario's Domain. I'll rename it at some point. I started out at 244.4 pounds, January 15th of 2019. So tomorrow, I think today's the 14th, right?
Yep, today's 14th.
Tomorrow marks 1 year that I've started keto. And so I went from 244.4 down to a low. Now, today isn't my low because I ate big yesterday, so I could fast for 24, but I've been down to a low of 156.6 pounds.
What?
That is 87.8 pounds down. And I make a joke. Once you have to be old to know the joke is once I hit 88 pounds, we're going to do some time travel. That's a Back to the Future reference. So
1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts. Yeah, we can supply that kind of power these days. So today, I was 160 pounds, but I'm fasting a couple of days. I'm going to drop down to 186. So I'm actually told by my brother and my doctor, stop losing weight. I should actually be at about 165. However, if I say 165 to myself, I'll end up being 170. So I'm happy with the 156 to 160 range. And if I go a little higher, great. Go a little lower, that's fine too. So that's what I have a pan going on the stove, heating it nice here for me. So Yesterday, as mentioned, my last meal was at like 5:30 maybe, so going on about 26 hours, something like that, 25 and a half hours. So when you eat for the first time, sometimes people will fast for 48, 72, 96 hours, and all they're drinking is water or seltzer or whatever beverage they want to drink. So when you break that fast, you got to have bone broth or an egg, a single egg, and then you got to wait a half an hour and then continue your one meal. If you don't do that, it can do some funny stuff to your stomach. So that's kind of what I'm going to do while I'm prepping here. And while Shawn and I both answer each other's questions that we have lined up for today, probably 5 questions. I might sneak in one here or there as long as his wife doesn't listen to the show. I think I'm allowed to ask the question.
Yeah, all transparency. My wife knows I don't hide anything from my wife. That's a dangerous path.
Yeah. Yeah, well, sometimes you sneak in that extra battery pack or that extra camera, and it's like, oh yeah, I just ordered that.
Yeah.
So
she sneaks things in too. So
we all do it. So
as long as we keep loving each other and have patience with each other, we're all good.
Yeah. Okay. So it's up to you how you want to start to kick this off, but I figure I would show you what I got going, unless you want to kick it off yourself, and then we can do that.
Yeah, no, you are the special guest. So
all right,
you get to run Shawn Ide Studios a little bit tonight. So I'm going to put you full screen, and
all right,
we'll see what's going on.
Okay, so I got this light is making it top heavy, so I might disconnect the light. Yep. All right, we'll do that. Sorry, folks. This little boom I have set up tends to be a little heavy for this little mic stand that I use. It used to work okay. So what I got here, and hopefully you can see that, is I got my pizza dough. And to put it simply, this basically consists of 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese, this is what I use. You use regular cheese, don't use diet cheese. 4 ounces of original cream cheese, the original Philly. You heat that up, you mix it up nice, and then you add 2 cups a cup of almond flour, an egg that's been beaten, and then mix that up, add the other cup of flour, and that makes about 20 ounces. So here's a 5-ounce roll that I got rolled up. Here's another 5-ounce roll that I flattened, and to flatten that out, I used my tortilla press, because these actually make good tortillas as well. So that's an added bonus. And then I have this 10-ounce one, and that I can cut this up to make whatever, or a larger pizza if I want to do it on my stone in the oven. So let me get these out of the way. Now, this dough tends to be very sticky. So what I do is I put parchment rounds for my air fryer in here, and I put this on top to press it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-cook this. One of the big mistakes I made when I first started doing this is I just put the toppings on this and thought, hey, I'm going to cook it, and that'll be great. And that was a big mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this in the air fryer oven now, and I'm going to cook it for however many minutes it is, then flip it, cook the other side that's brown, and then we just throw the toppings on it, melt the cheese, and to heat the toppings, and it's done. So I got this here, and there is my air fryer oven behind there. I got 2 air fryers out today, folks. So I'm going to pull this down. That's going to be hot, but I'm going to be an idiot and grab it anyway. And I'm going to stick this in here. Now, I didn't get fancy with the crust. Sometimes I'll roll up the edges to make it look all authentic and stuff like that, but not a big deal. So I'm going to close this up and power it up. And we'll go to 340. Go up with the temperature. The new models of this are better. You don't have to hit so many buttons. I'm going to do 380, 370, 380. And 20 minutes is fine. I will start that up. And I'm going to set a timer buzzer on my microwave so I don't forget and burn the crust. All right, so that's that one. Now, we also have some wings. Now, I made some wings earlier for my wife and daughter. There they are right here. These were done on the air fryer as well. So what I got here, I'll spin this around. Got my wings here. I already rinsed them, patted them dry, and let's see, yep, that looks good right there. And I cut off the little tips there. That was just to save some time. and I have this punch spray. Now this has skin on it, so it's got some fat content. So I don't need to use olive oil, but I like olive oil. Olive oil is good for you. You can use olive oil. You can use avocado oil, but and this will also help the spices stick. Now this spray container is not that great. You can also get the aerosol ones in like BJ's, Costco, and other places. I pick up 2 of these for like $5. You can get it in extra virgin olive oil or any other combination of oils. So now some people may look at this and say, Jesus, Mario, that's a lot of oil. The other fryers say no oil. And that's one of the big misconceptions is that it says, they say little to no oil. And you know, I like to put oil for a couple of reasons because of the taste. It helps things stick better. And you have to use olive oil or spray of some sort of oil when you use breadcrumbs or something, regardless if it's keto or not. Because if you don't, it'll look like uncooked breadcrumbs and it won't be savory. This is just a reused container. Normally, I'll freshly ground my pink Himalayan salt and grab fresh ground pepper on these. But in the interest of time, I have a big mixture and I do a big thing here, 1-to-1 for garlic, for salt and pepper, pink Himalayan salt and fresh ground pepper, and then half a serving or half of that in garlic powder. And I don't like it as much, but again, it's just a quick way. So I'm gonna, again, sprinkle that on here. We got some salt, some pepper, and the garlic powder. Might look like a lot, but sometimes it tends to fall off. I also do the same thing. I make my own taco seasoning because the stuff you get in the store has a lot of sugars in it. And that's what I try to avoid is a lot of sugars. And this is my air fryer basket. It is dirty because I used it about a half an hour ago to cook for the wife and daughter. So I'm going to use this, spray the bottom. If I don't, it is going to stick. So now one thing I do is I'll cook it for a period of time. I'll flip it over and cook it the other side. Then I'll flip it back for a couple of minutes on a higher temperature just to get that nice brown look. But I'm going to cook it all of this at the high temperature all together simply because it'll cook a little faster and everybody gets to see the results a little better. So normally I would cook this at 370, flip it 370, and then flip it again and do 400 to crisp it up. But we're going to do this all in one take here. So I already had this set for 370, so I'm going to kick up the temperature to 400. You got to remember to press this play button because it actually isn't running right now. And I'll set it for 13 minutes. We'll take a look. I know it's going to be longer, so that's going to go. And the dough, I'm going to take a quick look. It's already starting to brown up nice in there. I'll take it out and show you in a minute. Need to wash your hand. And we got some eggs here as well. So I'm going to grab one of these eggs and get it ready for the chaffle. Let's mix that up quick. And Shawn, I still got you up there, right? Just want to make sure you're not somewhere. I can hear something in the background. Okay. All right. So the basic chaffle is one lightly beaten egg, and they say a half a cup of cheese, mozzarella in my case. However, I don't go by that because some cheeses are shredded more than others. So this is a half a cup this is a cup measuring, but I like to weigh it. I picked up the scale for $5. I picked up 2 of them, and it's important for me. So I measured 60 grams, which is a half a cup, and I'm just going to dump that right in. So we got the half a cup of mozzarella and the lightly beaten egg, and now we're going to just start to stir this up. I'm going to take a look at the dough for a second, so I'm going to push this aside. You got the dough. It's not burnt, so don't worry. I'm gonna get this, flip it around. As you can see, it's not even cooked on the other side. Hopefully I can do this without breaking it. These are nice rounds. You can pick up like 100 for $6 to $10, depending on what you like, with or without the holes. I like it with the holes because it helps some of the oils drain off. So let's see if I can't get that on there. There we go. And we're going to heat up the other side now for a little bit and get this back in. And get this out of the way. Let's bring this up here. I'm going to continue to mix this up. I'm going to change the timing on the dough, just so you know. I don't want to forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah, I don't want to burn it because that would be bad. So I'm going to mix this up. Now, some people, what they'll do is they'll put this. I have a little food processor. Let me grab that. And they'll make a batter out of it. And you put it in there. And you could do that as well, but I want to show it like this because not everybody's got a food processor. Or if you have a hand cheese grater, you know, you could do it like that. Now, this is the basic chaffle recipe. A couple of things. You have some choices. You could put some baking powder in it. Now, some people don't like it. The true keto people don't like it because it has cornstarch, and I get flack for that. But for me, this will help it rise a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I don't know what I do with my teaspoon, so I put it, and that's like an eighth, not even an eighth. It's a lot less than that. And again, this will help it rise a little bit. 2 chaffles. My chaffle maker here is heating up nicely. These you can get about $10 for one, but sometimes you can find like a different colors for like $25. So they're very reasonably priced. Okay, just checking on the pizza dough. Now here you have a lot of choices. You can put some ground cinnamon in this. You can put this, which is a favorite. This is a protein powder. So if you need extra protein, this is Cinnamon Toast Crunch protein powder. So if you want to use this to make a waffle or something for the morning, perfect. And then I have also some peanut butter version. So depending what you like, and maybe your allergies, that's a good choice. I usually, when I make these for buns. So I'll make these and use it for a hamburger bun. Because I like hamburgers, but without the bread, regardless, it's just not the same. But you add a couple of these, and I got videos on that as well. So this right here, what I can do is this will make just over 2. So I'll make one without the cinnamon, and then I'll make one with. It doesn't really matter. Then check the dough again. Dough looks good. Okay, let's get this over here. Open it up. This is nice and toasty hot. I don't think I need to spray it, but I am just in case. Put some oil, and we're just gonna try to get about half of it in there. Maybe a little bit more. I always put too much, and then it's gonna come oozing out.
That's my favorite part. It's like the burnt edges.
Yeah, exactly. So this looks pretty good. Now, one thing I didn't do that I want to mention is this won't look crispy. You're going to basically cook this until steam stops coming out, and then you know it's pretty much cooked. However, what some people will do is they'll drop some mozzarella cheese or whatever cheese on the surface, then put the batter on top of it, and then a little more cheese on top, and that gives it a more crisp-looking appearance. I'm not doing that today, but you can certainly do that. You can see a lot of steam coming out of that now.
Oh, wow, that was quick.
The pizza dough is still cooking, so I'm gonna need another minute or two. So I'm actually going to start it up and tell it to go another couple of minutes.
All right.
And time. All right, that should be okay. I have an audience behind me watching. So we got this going. I'm just going to take a quick peek. I know I shouldn't, but yeah, okay, it looks good. So that's going. I'm going to set my microwave timer for 3 minutes just so I don't forget. Again, I have a habit of doing that when I'm working on stuff.
All right, I'm going to intro real quick.
Okay.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Shawn Ide Studios. It's a little after 7. What we've been doing is we've got Mario Monti in the house, and he is cooking some keto bar food for us. We've got pizza and wings, and he's showing us how to cook it low carb, but still taste good. So Mario is a whiz in the kitchen. He takes the tools that are in the kitchen and takes them to the next level, cooking with air fryers. He's making a waffle bun out of eggs and cheese to put the hamburger on, little things like that. So if you're wondering why we're looking at an oven tonight, we've got Mario as our special guest. And one of the things we're going to do on YouTube, on Shawn Ide Studios this year, is celebrate the community. We're going to bring other YouTube channels in here and show off what they do on their channel, so we can kind of cross-pollinate our subscribers and kind of grow this community of just cool people that like to hang out. So Mario is, he's lost over 80 pounds on the keto diet, and he's done it in a way that he enjoys life. So we are going to celebrate that, and that's what we're doing tonight. So we're going to give it back to Mario. Oh, that's not it. That's it. Oops.
Hey everybody, it's and I just put my pizza dough out, and this pizza dough consists of cream cheese. And I'm not a cream cheese person. I don't like it. No, it's cream cheese once it's in the recipe. So this is cream cheese, mozzarella cheese, egg, and almond flour. And I pre-cooked the bread. I didn't do that. I usually do, is since I did put a baking powder to help this rise, I would normally use a dough docker or something like that. It didn't bubble up, so I think we're okay there. So that's it. The bread's cooked now, and you can use any sauce. I always make my sauce. I never buy sauce, convenient, because I don't eat a lot of sauce these days because of heartburn or agita, as some say. Rayo's is supposedly, arguably, one of the better sauces to buy pre-made. It's got very little as far as carbs go. Now, a half a cup is 4 grams of carb. However, I'm only going to be using 2 tablespoons. So realistically, this is like less than a carb. So I am going to grab my tablespoon because I haven't made this version in a while. I also have some barbecue sauce. It's keto-friendly barbecue sauce. So if you want to make a barbecue pizza and you have some chicken you want to put on it, that's perfect too. So let's see what I use. I know one time I put 2, a little more than 2, and it was too much. So I'm just scooping out some of this. If we got to use more than 2, that's okay too. I calculated out this whole pizza, and it's very small. If you've ever been to Uno's Pizzeria, this is like one of the size of the personal size pizza. I'd say this is about a 6-inch pizza here. Got some chunks of tomato there. I'm going to put just a little bit more. This is, I think, works out to 6.7 carbs. I'm allowed to have about 20 carbs a day, but I go over that now because I kept losing weight, which is what I didn't want to do. Yeah, such a problem to have, right? Kept losing weight, so I decided to increase my calorie, everything. Did anywhere from 50% to, twice as much as I'm supposed to have. All right, the chicken's still cooking. So now we have this on here. I'm going to put a little more cheese on top. But before I do that, when I make my own sauce, I will sometimes drizzle a little bit of olive oil on here because that adds a little nice touch to it, especially if it's your own sauce. So what I'm going to do is just spritz a little bit on there. Usually I have a little drip pourer on there. I have a little bit of parsley. here. You don't need this. This is something I like to do because it's got some of the stuff there, but if you're like me, you'll want a little more taste in it. And I got some oregano, so I'm gonna pop that on there. I found I don't like a lot of foods, but I found once on keto, I became more tolerant probably for a couple of reasons. A, because the food was a little more bland at that point, and B, my taste changed. I don't think I need any more pepper. I'm not going to bother with that. So I got that here. Let's see how this cooperates opening up. Okay, so I have this. I'm going to throw some cheese. Now this dough consists mostly of cheese, so depending if you don't like cheese, too much cheese or not enough cheese or whatever, that's up to you. So just going to put some of this on there, and that looks pretty good. I think a little more, right? That's not going to hurt.
Hey, Mario, do you have time for a question?
So I absolutely do.
All right, so from Brett Newman, a question for Mario. Will the keto diet end when you reach your weight goal, or will you continue to diet into the future?
Fact of the matter is, if I was to go back to the way, I would gain back weight. There's no question about that. And the reason being is the way I eat was day long. Chips, Doritos, snack, everything. I didn't have 3 meals. I had one big meal all day long. So it's a lifestyle. It's like exercising. When I had lost 50 pounds and I kind of plateaued, I started running, which I never thought would be possible. But I was running 7K a day until it got too cold. I like the cold weather, but this was ridiculous. So, and then I dropped like another 20, 30 pounds. The thing, sure, I could stop exercising, but I'm going to expect gain weight, and I'll have to eat less again to try to maintain that. Everything's about a balance. Not in keto isn't for everybody as well. I mean, people remember when your doctors, not to go off too much, butter, eat margarine, don't eat eggs. But now they're saying don't eat margarine. Margarine's bad, eat butter. And now they're saying egg is the perfect food. So I have high cholesterol, hereditary, and it's been high all my life. And when I went on this diet, but after being on this diet for 7 months, my cholesterol numbers dropped to a level that was unheard of for someone like me. So, I will continue to do what I'm doing. Maybe I'll relax a little bit more, but that's all going to depend on how much I eat and how much I exercise. So anything is a lifestyle, whether it's working out and so forth. So, to answer your question, yeah, it's kind of for life, unless I want to go back to the way I was, which was 87.8 pounds, and maybe even worse, because you know how you ever watch the shows like The Biggest Loser, those people just starved themselves and worked out themselves to death, but then they kind of went back to the old habits, and some of them ended up weighing more than they actually did. So it's really hard. Sometimes I find myself, I'll binge on foods that I can eat, but I still binge. And I had to get that out of my system this weekend, Sunday, a little bit. And then yesterday I ate, instead of 2,000 calories or less, I had 3,500 calories. Instead of 20 carbs, I had like 38 carbs. And instead of like 105 protein or 150, if you work out, you do a little more protein, I like doubled that number. So, but I had to get that out of my system. And I went back to a fast today, and now I'm back down to 160 pounds. So it's kind of, let me make sure that's not burning. It's kind of one of those things. So I hope that wasn't too much information overload, but does that answer your question?
No, that was good. So are you following a specific?
Cool. All right, I'm going to put.
Oh, go ahead.
So I'm doing, so there's the strict keto, and I forget the word for the strict keto, and then there's dirty keto or lazy keto. And I'm doing the dirty, lazy keto. And what that basically means is my brother said, eat things with one ingredient and one ingredient only. Sorry, let me talk into this. He said, eat things with one ingredient: meat, ground beef, one ingredient; chicken, one ingredient; fish, one ingredient. Is sausage, like sweet Italian sausage and kielbasa, sure, that's keto friendly, but it's considered dirty keto. And the reason being is it's a processed food. So he won't eat it because it's a processed food. Now, some people will not eat cheese because cheese is technically, possibly depending who you ask and opinions, cheese is a processed food. So some people will eat cheese, some won't. Baking powder has cornstarch. Someone was not upset. They said, I watched the video until I saw you pull out the baking powder. Well, you don't have to use baking powder, just like you don't have to use the protein powder to make it taste like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You could put less cheese, more almond flour. It's all to your taste. No two people are the same. So, it's what you do and what you like. So,
Very cool.
So I'm going to pull out the wings, and I forget what I had the timer set for, but it's interesting. I don't think my video is updating. Can you see my video?
Yep.
Okay.
We got 4 wings
And,
on the air fryer.
Yeah, and I forgot about my chaffle. My video is not updating on my phone, so I don't know if you could see it or not. But this is the chaffle. I cooked it a minute too long because I was opening my big mouth. Can you see the chaffle okay? It's very hot.
Yeah, it looks nice and crunchy.
Yeah, and that's the way I like it. Now, you can make a ton of those in advance, throw them in the fridge after they're completely cooled on a rack, and then toast them the next day, and make it that much better. So, again, for some reason, Shawn, my video is not updating, but you're saying you could see me. So if at any point you can't, just let me know. So I'm going to flip these over, and I'm going to put these in until this side browns up, and then I'm going to flip it back one more time, and then I would normally tweak the temperature from 370 to 400 just to crisp up that other side to make it give a nice presentation. For those who didn't see the earlier batch, hopefully you see that. That
looks
the
great.
earlier batch. So I'm going to throw these back in and reset the timer. And let me turn down the timer to 5 minutes because, again, I'll forget. And we're going to go back to my pizza. And it's interesting. I think my browser's frozen, but you said you could see me, so I'll just work with that and go to the YouTube video live so I can see what's going on. So this is my toppings. I've got ground beef and bacon here. I forgot about my sweet Italian sausage, so I cooked 4 pounds of ground beef in a pan, and then 6 pounds of bacon, and you can see that on my Instagram or Facebook feed. And I mix them all together, and I put on my homemade taco seasoning. So I'll use this for pizza toppings, nachos, tacos, anything like that. So I heated this up a little bit while no one was looking. And so at this point, all we're looking to do, everything's cooked. We're just looking to reheat everything at this point. And again, this mixture is so versatile, So normally I call this my meat casserole, my world famous meat casserole. And it has, again, ground beef, ground beef, bacon, and sweet Italian sausage. So that looks about good, I think. And because I want this to look like a pizza, I'm going to put just a couple more sprinkles on top. And feel free to use whatever kind of cheese you want. I'll sometimes use Colby Jack or something like that, gives it some different color. And let me point this back up here. And I'm going to open this up. Pop this back in. It's already come down to cool. So basically, we just want that to heat up. Now, this does have a fan in it. So what I'm probably going to do, so it doesn't blow away, is I'm going to actually lower this so that it doesn't get too much wind. But all we're looking to do is reheat the meat and just melt the cheese. So it's 4:30 and time. We'll do 5 minutes at 4:30. If I had the broiler, if I was using the regular oven, I might put it on broiler to give it that nice look and taste. And we got the other chaffle here that we can make. And this time, hopefully I'll pay attention. And for those who weren't on earlier, you can add this protein powder, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or peanut butter to add if you want some extra protein in your diet, if you need it. Sometimes I find that I don't get enough fat. That's the thing with keto. if you do not have enough fat in your diet, you will feel hungry all the time, and you'll want to eat more. So make sure you get enough fat in your keto diet if that's what you're doing. And the way it was is you do like, I think it's like a 75, 80% fat of your diet, 15% protein, and then about 5% carbs. So you want high fat, mid protein, and hopefully you're seeing that. I'm going to close this down.
Got it.
And I'm going to set the timer again so I don't forget, even though I did last time. So that's going to go. This is going to start to steam in a minute. Yeah, the pizza's doing a whirly bird in there. Let me check my wings quick. I'm bummed I can't see what's going on. Let me go to YouTube, see if I can't. These still need to cook a little longer. I'm going to kick up the temperature. I always cook chicken a little bit longer. I mean, it's however you want to do it. My issue is I've never gotten food poisoning from my cooking. However, I have gotten food poisoning from other people's cooking. So I err on the side of caution as far as that goes. Now, the other thing, unfortunately, I threw my spatula in the sink. So I'm going to take this out. If you see that. I need to break my fast. Since I haven't eaten in about 26 hours now, I need to break my fast with either bone broth or a single egg. And then once I eat that, I need to wait a half an hour, give or take, before I eat anything else. Otherwise, it's going to do funky stuff to my stomach. So I have this pan that's been patiently heating up. Hopefully you see that. And I got these two big plastic jars filled with bacon fat on the floor, so I'm down to two. But bacon fat is, again, despite what people say for you, again, not everybody's the same. I'll do anything. I've do pork roast, everything I can that I can use the bacon fat, I will.
And what's the bacon fat for?
Video again, Shawn.
Flavor?
It's just a flavor, and also, just like a help with the stick. Now, this is my new favorite pan. Got this on sale at BJ's. So for like $10 or $12, I can't remember. But my other pots and pans are about 15 years old, and everything sticks to them now. This thing does a really good job. We'll see if it lasts as long as the others do. So I'm just going to dump this in there. And this will be my one meal. I usually don't break it down. I'll just poke the yolk and just have some cheese in it. Hopefully it doesn't cause me any issues. I'm now going to take the pizza out because I think we're just about ready for that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Mario, that looks good.
The one I did on my video the other day. I'm going to let it cool down for a little. I'm going to cut it. But I probably would take it out a little bit longer. But again, this is what happens when you cooking 4 things at one time. You tend to do that. This right here, it's still steaming, so I'm going to leave it in there. I'm going to set this off to the side, move this front to center. Wings I'm going to leave in there a little bit longer and then flip them. And I'm going to find my spatula. I'm not sure where the heck I put it. So usually I would flip this to make it light over easy, but just a quick flip. Now this is really hot, so I'm probably causing more problems than anything because I had it going for about a half an hour, wasted electricity. And I'll pour some of that bacon fat on there. A little bit of stick in there, but that's my fault for not paying attention. So this is going to be my break for my fast at 8:30. So I think officially 5, 6, 7, 8. So actually, wait a minute. 27-hour fast. I think that's what I got. All right. This is still steaming a little bit. You might not be able to see it. This has a little steam going. It's cooking up nice. The pizza is going to be ready to cook soon. I mean, cut, not cook. Move that off to the side. There's my chicken. That looks really nice. And I'm going to flip it and then cook it at a higher temperature normally for just a couple of more minutes to get that nice color. This just has to do with color. It has nothing to do with, anything else. But I love crispy skin chicken. I don't eat breadcrumbs anymore, but sometimes what you can do is you crush up pork rinds and you can add your own seasoning to it. And then, you put that on there. So that's like a breaded chicken. Pork rinds is very popular for that. Also, people use pork rinds to make nachos. And also, this fathead dough here, you can make bagels with it. I have this everything but the bagel seasoning. Hopefully you can see that. Basically, you make the bagel out of that dough. You make it a circle. You brush it with some melted butter. You throw this on top. You cook it.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Can you still hear me?
I was on a diet. It was yeah, I can. Can you hear me? Check, check. Uh-oh. Looks like we lost Mario. I am going to go full screen and see if we can get Mario back in. So here we go. This is our first live stream. And we have lost our special guest. So I'm going to go over to Facebook and bring him back in. So stand by. I'm going to put the standby screen up. How's that? You're professional. So we lost Mario. So everything goes crazy when we go live, right, guys? You never know what's going to happen. So we are going to chat for a little bit and see if we can bring Mario back in. I don't know if his phone overheated or what was going on, but just to let you guys know what we're going to do this year on Shawn Ide Studios. I'm not going to have a guest every week. Just because it took a lot just to get this to happen. But I think it's pretty awesome that we can have guests now. I'm using a browser-based streaming platform called StreamYard. And we are going to switch over to StreamYard and we're going to run it this year. Now it's going to be 720p, which is something that I don't like. But the features that it's going to add to my channel, I'm okay with downgrading to 720, but it's definitely not going to be even close to the quality of the 4K videos that I put out. So here's a good chance to plug StreamYards. I've got the logo up in the corner. This is powered by StreamYard. StreamYard is, so far I'm loving everything about it. And if they upgrade to 1080, it'll be perfect for me. But I have an affiliate link with StreamYard, so you can get $10 off a paid subscription to StreamYard. So there's a link in the description below to check out StreamYard, and you'll get $10 off. And yeah, so Mario's back in the house, so we're going to turn that plug off, and we're going to add Mario to the stream. There he is. He's back.
Hey, sorry. I think what happened was my phone was sitting right over that pan, and I looked at my phone, and it said shutting down. The battery wasn't dead, so I can only assume that it was protecting itself from the heat, and it shut down the phone.
Yeah, I thought that's what I told him. I said, I bet his phone overheated.
Yeah. So let me go back to the live browser here so I can try again. So I'm loading up on this side too again. So the chicken will be ready shortly. That looks nice. I'm gonna let that finish out the cycle. I stuffed that egg down my throat while you guys weren't looking so that I could get my my rest time in. Continue, enter, and let's see if I can see the broadcast again. Let me mute this out. Okay, I can see everything now. Now I got multiple windows open here, and I'm good. So, if it's okay with you, Shawn, I am going to, and the other chaffle is out. I'm gonna go right there.
Oh, that looks
you can see that.
wonderful.
And I'm gonna unplug each little waffle maker. I actually have a new waffle maker. It does 4 at a time, and it's spill proof. It has a little galley, so instead of doing 1 at a time or buying 3, I can do 4 at a time. They are square. I also have a large Belgium one in the corner here. It's called the Flip, so it stands upright and doesn't take any room really on the counter when it's not in use. So let's see what the chicken looks like now. Yeah, that looks nice. There we go.
Oh, that was great.
So now we are going to kind of set aside, and I'm going to put it on top of this. I'm going to call it used chicken. It's the chicken from a couple of hours ago from my wife and daughter, but I've already wasted enough plates tonight, so we'll get that in there. So there we go. There's the chicken from that. Normally at this point I would be taking a couple of pictures, but I'm using my phone to film it. And as I always say with the air fryers, you got to be really careful, because if you leave it plugged in, you bump it, and mine's pretty good, but it'll automatically turn back on. So once I'm done using it, I will go back and I will unplug it. But the last thing you want is to have a fire. And I have to get my tablet off there now, because you can leave the tablet on here when it's not in use. When it's in use, because the downdraft keeps everything cool, but as soon as you shut it off, the heat rises, and it'll affect that. So there's that right there. Hopefully you see that. My browser froze again, so that's actually interesting. But I can see
chaffles.
Yep, chicken and chaffles. And some people do that. They'll get shredded chicken or turkey, and they'll make a chaffle turkey. Turkey chaffle. So I got this. This is probably cooled down more than I would have wanted it to, but I'm going to cut it now. You can hear a little bit of crunch in there. I'm not sure if you heard that. And get this off to the side. Now, I am going to break the rules. I am actually not going to wait that full half an hour because I am hungry. My brother says hungry is a state of mind. He just have some water. If you're hungry, have some water. Wait a half an hour. If you're still hungry, have some more water. So, but this time, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to, and I haven't actually made one of these in a really long time. So now, make no mistake, this doesn't taste like bread. However, it plays mind games with you. Your body sees this and it thinks pizza. So that's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, and I like the fact that your dough had a lot of cheese in it. So, you've got the mozzarella.
Yeah, really good.
I made a lasagna one time, and it was like a 3-inch thick omelet, and so all I really tasted was more like a pizza omelet than it was a.
I apologize. You're probably picking up the crunching quite a bit, but on the flip side, you can tell it's crunchy.
Yeah.
So, and actually, these are very filling. I mean, I've made these before, and I have a few types of these I'll make, and I got videos for that as well. I would be happy with 2 slices of that, and I feel good. However, I have a lot of food here, so I have some chicken wings. So I like the smaller chicken wings for a couple of reasons, because they cook faster, and therefore I can get them crispy the way I like them better. I'm going to burn myself, but I think it's well worth it.
That's crispy.
Yeah, like I said, I cook mine a little extra. So I think they say 170, but I don't mind going to 180 or higher, even 190, because I like crispy chicken, and it's not burnt, and it's still juicy inside.
Nice.
Now, some people hate when I do that live, but it tastes so good. Now this is 6 ounces worth, and what I'll do is I'll have this for a meal. I'll just heat it up, and sometimes I'll put cheese on it if I need more fat. I'll put cheese on it. Heat it 30 seconds, throw the cheese on it, heat another 30 seconds so the cheese melts. I'm eating like a king tonight. And Sean, if I'm chewing too loud, let me know.
No, you're good. So when I was on the Atkins diet a long time ago.
Very similar, yeah.
And it was a low carb diet, and I ate a lot of meat. And some of the people that kind of were against it told me that my cholesterol levels were going to go way up because I was eating all this meat and like all this fat. So with your keto diet, you said at the beginning of the live stream that your cholesterol has actually gone down, right?
Yep. And if you'd like, I'll share those results in a minute. I have it actually in here. Sure. But my risk, everything just went down like, come on. I'm doing split screen on this, and it doesn't always like me for that. Okay, so cholesterol. Now, I don't know how much people know about cholesterol here, but my cholesterol, before I realized it was out of control, my doctor said my blood was like milk, and I had to get in there right away, and she threw me on meds very quickly when she saw that. But searching cholesterol, there we go. So my cholesterol, I get it tested every June, and I had only been on keto since that January, so about 7 months. My the DL went from 187 to 148, and they wanted it to be under 199, so that was still okay. But that was on medicine, the maximum dosage. My HDLs went from 53 to 54, which is still fine as long as it's above 40. That's what they say. My risk, they wanted under 5, was at 3.5, and it dropped to 2.7. And importantly, my trigs was at, they say less than 150. My trigs were at 162, and they dropped to 92. And that was just in 7 months. So I'm kind of anxious to see what happens come June to see how it happens. Now, a lot of my cholesterol problems were more than likely self-induced, because what was I doing? I was eating a lot of chips, a lot of sugary foods, and that's a big problem. So if you don't want to, I probably, anything can be solved. Someone said to me, an old dear friend, anything can be solved with proper food and diet. And you know what? He was right. So here I am. Now, I've actually been lighter than this. When I was in high school, I was 183 pounds on graduation day in high school. And I went up to 185, and I said, that's enough. Bought a brand new car, went on a diet, and got my hair cut all in the same day. And I dropped down to a low of 132 pounds. Now, that was too little for me back then, but I was eating 3 meals a day. I was going to karate 3 times a week. I just kept losing it. And then I kept busy all the time. But as soon as you stop being busy and you're looking for something to do and you're bored, what do? You turn to food. And that's really what happened to me. So I've been 185 several times, and I thought that was a good weight, especially when I was working out. So for me, hey, I didn't know I could do that. Sorry, easily distracted. What's that? So for me, I'm happy about it, and what I'm worried about right now, and I'm going to share a little more personal information. I got injured very recently. I actually want to move something out of the way, and this thing that was in my way was 400 pounds. It was sitting on top of a cable I needed to get out of the way. And I decided to deadlift this item, and it wasn't very smart. So I actually gave myself a hernia. And I'll find out in a couple of days, but I probably have to have surgery. My biggest fear is I'm going to be laid up and not be able to jog and run and work out, and I'm going to gain back weight. So I'm going to have to, I'll be able to walk, but I'll have to be conscious and not, because right now I'm eating above my macros just so I don't lose any more weight. I'll have to be conscious about that and drop some of my intake so I don't gain weight or gain as little weight as possible, because I'll have to wait, from what I know, 4 to 6 weeks to be at full heel so I can continue doing what I'm doing, whether it's working out, running, or whatnot. So I'm kind of bummed about that. This happened mid-December, I think. That was actually 1 year. It happened 1 year after I stopped drinking diet soda. So personal information, you don't need to feel sorry for me because I did something stupid, and that's what happens when you do something stupid. But I'm optimistic, and I'll make sure that I keep the weight off.
Yeah, you'll definitely be in my prayers for that.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Oh, I got to eat something here. I know I made it. Oh, it's the chaffle. Now I'm actually going to save these because I'm going to reheat them and toast them tomorrow, and I think I'm going to make myself a hamburger. So that'll be awesome. I would make a hamburger tonight and eat it in front of you, but I don't think you want to see that. I think so. We did the chaffle, the single egg that I ate, so that wasn't really sure. We did the wings, and those wings are calling my name again, and the pizza. And I'll tell you, I think I'm going to have another piece.
Nice.
Now, again, the dough doesn't taste like real dough, but that's what it is. So if anybody has any questions, I can answer them. But Shawn, I don't know if you want to take the part 2 of this or not, or how you want to handle that.
Yeah. So I think at this point it's 7:45. So I think we should do the I answer a question and you answer a question.
Okay, I'm down with that.
All right. So my first question for you is, how long have you been on YouTube?
So my first YouTube video, I'm a photographer. Well, I'm an amateur photographer, portrait photographer. And I bought this background. I have a lot of photo gear that's kind of in storage right now. And this background I bought was 7 feet tall by 5 feet wide. Now that doesn't sound like much, but it's also like 8 inches deep, and it's hollow inside. You twist down into a little package, and you stick your lights inside of it, and it makes a white background, so you can do silhouettes and stuff. And everybody said, once you open that, you cannot shut down. You can't turn it down. So people would leave this thing leaning on their wall. So I couldn't figure it out. People say, well, you have to pick up this 5 by 7 foot thing and kind of fold it up and around. I go, this is impossible. So I found a unique way to do it. And I says, people want to see this. So I posted a 36-second video on YouTube. And I got to tell you, I was thrilled when I had 10 views. And this was in January 20th of 2009. So my first video went up almost 11 years ago. And I didn't really do anything after that. But now that video has 30,562 views. It's my last check, and 122 thumbs up. And I was really depressed when the thumb down came, the first thumbs down. I figured it's a 37-second video. I just showed you how to do this. Some people say, well, I don't have a couch to do this on. Well, do it on the floor then. It doesn't matter. But that, so that's kind of like what got me started. And after that, video came like a couple of months later. And I think I only did a couple of that specific photography, but I've done other lighting and other tripod type videos since then. So short story long, January 20th, 2009. And that's kind of what got me started in all that.
Nice.
Now it's my turn. Now, besides drones being cool, because we all know they are, what really sparked your interest in drones? Like, what drove you to say, hey, that's pretty cool? I mean, a lot of things are cool, but something compelled you to do it, and it's your passion now, and that's what your channel is widely based on. So I'm curious as what really kicked you off to do something like that?
All right. So I have always been a creative person. I've always been the type of person. So I tried to make this my tagline on my channel, but I'm not really good with taglines. So, but I always say creativity is living outside of the box. So
Agreed.
So the things that I like to do, I always like to take them to the next level. So for me, back in the day when I was taking, when I got a camera, I didn't just want to take pictures. So I started, my best friend that we hung out at the time was, his name's Dave. And we both got digital SLRs at the same time. So we started. We both got Flickr accounts.
Okay.
And we would give ourselves an assignment. So one week would be liquid, just the word liquid. However you interpret the word liquid. I ended up like putting really cool things on my kitchen counter and then like dropping water out of the sink and then
I was going to say.
Trying to get the drop. Like, so I take, you know, and my camera, I think back then it was a Canon XT
20D or 10D?
XTI.
Okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
So I think it was like 8 pictures per second. So I'd be like, you know, trying to get that water drop.
And working with the aperture and the to get the freeze you want and all that stuff. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. And so anyway, fast forward to where I am now. The Christmas before I started my YouTube channel, I had a so I used to work at a corporate office for a gas station, and it was right next to Best Buy. So I would go I never smoked, so I would take my smoke breaks and go over to Best Buy and just look around, and they had drones there. So I bought a DJI Phantom 3 standard, and
do it all out.
Yeah. So the fact that I could go 400 feet up in the air and take a picture of the Earth, I was like, man, that's awesome. But it wasn't good enough for me, so I started strapping 360 cameras on there, and then I was like, hey, this would be kind of a cool little thing to do on a YouTube channel. So,
and that's how it all starts.
That's when it all started. I have another channel, and it's just Shawn Ide, and that's kind of where back in the day when MySpace wouldn't let you put videos on it, I had to use YouTube to put videos on my MySpace. So that channel has one video on it of me morphing myself into the Incredible Hulk.
I saw that.
And then going back to me. And it's only like, if I'd have known anything about YouTube, I would have made that video like a minute long. But I mean, it's got over 3 million videos or views. I don't even know. And so, and then fast forward to like maybe 2010, a friend of mine said, you need to monetize that video. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I started. I was like, oh, I could probably make some money doing this. And I thought by now I'd be making a lot more money than I am, but
we all do. And it's really not a money maker. You can tell anybody there, because the price of equipment you buy and stuff, it's a wash, not even, you know.
Yep.
And that's awesome. My first drone, I bought a 2-pack on Meh. They're the creators of Woot.com. 2 drones about this big, and I paid $30 for them. That was my first thing into it, and I wanted to see how high it went, and then it lost signal and it came crashing down to the ground. I don't know where I put the other one. I took a little to tell you about mine, but that's great, because that's how it all starts. It starts with an idea, and that's what you did.
Yeah, and that Phantom that I was talking about.
Yes,
I didn't know anything about battery life, and when it starts going off, you need to bring it down immediately. I was like, oh, it's giving me a 5-minute warning. So I'm up there doing like a 360 picture by hand, taking 48 pictures, and I had like 12 pictures left. And all of a sudden it starts landing itself, and I'm freaking out because I'm over a bunch of trees. And yeah, at the time I didn't know, you know, I can move the sticks, but I just slammed the drone right into a tree, and yeah.
Oh well.
Yep.
I don't know how yours was, but if I didn't stop it from videoing and it lost power, I'd lose the video. You have to actually stop it, you know, from the remote.
Oh, yeah. It would corrupt the file. If
it just wouldn't record it. If you didn't stop it, it wouldn't write the fat table or whatever. So you just lost it.
Wow.
I'm just going to stick. I forgot one thing out. I'll give me 3 seconds. I'm just going to put something in the fridge so it doesn't go bad. Okay, I'm back. I told you it wouldn't be long.
All right. So my next question for you is, I know you like to experiment in the kitchen.
Yeah.
What else do you like to talk about on your channel?
So I like to call myself jack of all trades, master of nothing, or master of none, because you always start out with a big idea. Oh, I'm going to be the best photographer there is, and oh, you're going to be the best woodworker. I'm going to get a saw table, and I'm going to do these great things, and never did. So what I do is I kind of do, again, just a little bit of everything. I'm not too afraid to go too deep into things. But other than the food, I've done some woodworking. I built a nice jewelry box for my wife for her anniversary. The company that made the furniture at a nice furniture place here, the company who made it went out of business. So I found a thumbnail about this big on eBay, and I knew the overall dimensions from their post, and I designed it in SketchUp, and I built it. So I kind of posted the along the way thing, not an actual video, but the pictures of along the way. I also built, and I don't know if you could see it. So woodworking is, I built that kitchen island right there. And it's got a butcher block on top. Now I did cheat a little bit. It was actually cheaper for me to buy the doors. I had them custom made for me because the tooling to make the doors would have cost me $400, and the wood would have cost me another $100-200, and then I would have to make it and hope not to screw up. I think I got both doors in the drawer front for like $200 shipped, and half of that was shipping. So, but I built the carcass. I designed it. I did the shelving, everything like that. So that's kind of what I did with that. I like. Sometimes I do some like shopping videos on YouTube, like especially around the holidays, where I'll put the deals that I like, usually kitchen related, sometimes not. Digital decorating. I don't know if you've seen any of those videos, Shawn, is I do a big display. Right now I have I think 11 projectors. I'm only using 9 that to do illusions, that things come out of the ground. There's like invisible backdrops. This year I made a 10-foot by 5-foot backdrop, so you could see people coming in and out of the ground. I have those videos up as well. Blow ups. I mean, I would never do this if I didn't have, a 9-year-old daughter. That's what she loves. So she wrote a little thing at school saying how my daddy's the best, because I do all that stuff. So I do it for Halloween. I do it for Christmas. I just started doing it for 4th of July and Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving consists of 7 blow-up turkeys in the backyard while the fools play psychopathic chicken in the background. So photo stuff, I don't get to do anything with photo stuff anymore. I have a lot of photo equipment. My first camera was a 20D, my first DSLR. And then I bought a 40D. And then I want to buy updates, but I wasn't using it enough to justify it. So I post videos of little doodads that I use for it, and just my routines, like the eating, along with the food and my workout and stuff like that. So again, short story long, a little bit of everything. I do have some videos of home automation of doing electrical work that had to be upgraded, but worried about posting that, someone, electrocuting themselves and coming back to me for it. So we'll see what I can do about that for the future. So that's kind of where that stands. So anything and everything is what it comes down to,
All right. That's the way I feel with some of my drone videos. I like, some people like say I watched what you did and I cut my finger, and so then I started because catching a drone or hand launching or something like that. So there was a time when I would say do this at your own risk, and I would do all these disclaimers like I'm not responsible for what you do, and then I just decided to just forget about it.
And that's tough, because it's sad when a manufacturer says on their microwave directions, do not put people in the microwave. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So
right. There's a sign next to the railroad tracks by my house that says don't stop on the track. And that sign's there because some idiot stopped on the tracks and got his car hit by a train.
Right.
You'd think that would be common sense, but
common sense or a lapse of judgment, or whatever the case may be. Exactly. All right. Oh, my turn to ask, huh?
Yep.
So I kind of asked this question once before, but I think other people would like to know. if someone's thinking about getting into drones just because they think it's cool or otherwise, and doesn't have a ton of money to spend, what's a good starting point? And on top of that, keeping in mind, if they feel like it's not right for them, they say, oh, I want to get into drones. They spend $1,000 and then they don't like it. And now they can only sell for a couple $100 or a few $100, or it's a waste of money for them because it's really seasonal, depending where you are, for the weather and the wind, to not lose money. So, how do those differ above? Like, I think you mentioned a DJI Mavic Pro with GPS would be a good starter if I really want to get into a good drone. But again, where do you stand now on that? And what's your feeling about someone who thinks they might be into it? Do you sleep on it or whatever kind of thing?
All right. So in my opinion, so it really depends on, first of all, it depends on what you want to do. If you want just something cool to play around with on the weekend, but you really don't care about video or photo, then there's a lot of drones out there that are pretty cheap that you can fly around like an RC car or like an RC plane or something like that. I like to do creative things with it. So I need at least an HD camera on it that can handle the vibration of the drone and the twisting of the drone, and that, when the drone moves around, it needs to at least hold the horizon. But their drones have been in the consumer market for years now. So I would consider buying a kind of top of the line drone from 3 years ago, that's kind of used on eBay if I'm just starting out, as opposed to, I don't have enough money to buy a decent drone, so I'm going to buy kind of a cheap toy.
Yeah.
So I think, and what a lot of people don't realize is the toys are harder to fly than the more expensive drones.
Yeah, those $15 ones are a hell of a flying experience.
I bought my son a helicopter for Christmas, and he flew it straight up in the air, and then the wind flew it over the fence into the woods, and we never found it. So Christmas morning, that drone was gone. So I would say, like, if you're starting out as a beginner, I would at least get a GPS drone that knows where it's at in the sky, because all that's going to do is you're going to lift it up off the ground and it's going to sit there. And then you're going to tell it to go over there, and it's going to go over there. And then you're going to tell it to go up, and it's going to go up. But any of the toy drones that don't have GPS, like a GPS, I don't even know what it's called, just a GPS in it, those drones, you're going to have to keep them in, you're going to have to hold them in 3D space all the time. So that's just going to frustrate a beginner.
That's fair to say.
And they're going to wreck it.
So if you, I don't know the drone lineup well, but let's say you have a DJI Mavic Pro, which is the one you suggested, which I think is $399.
Mini.
Mini? Okay. Is there a mini version with a GPS and one without? And what's the price delta between the two? So I know the mini is $400. If you want the extended kit, which comes with extra batteries and propellers, it's like $500. But what price does that add? Do you think it's like $100 cost difference, or is it a lot less than that the GPS might add?
I'm pretty sure everything that DJI makes right now has GPS in it. I'm not sure if the Trello does or not.
Okay.
Or the Tello, Trello is what I use at work. But Tello, Tello drone is probably the most advanced little toy drone I've ever used, but you can only fly it inside. It's pointless outside because it doesn't weigh anything and the wind will just kind of throw it around. I would say probably the cheapest GPS drone that I would suggest would be the DJI Spark. Those drones are about a year and a half, 2 years old now. So you can get a used one on Facebook for like $250. Some people try to sell them for $400, but if you offer $250, then they'll take it. And then you can get a DJI Mavic Mini that shoots 2.7K video, and it folds up for about $400. So,
and that's the one I'm looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I have it somewhere. But yeah, that's what I would
You have a
suggest.
drone there somewhere? Do you have a drone in like every room of your house? I just
No, they're all in my office, but like I'll do these live streams or I'll do like an unboxing at my desk and then I'll just put all the crap on the side of my desk. So there's like a graveyard of boxes and cords and stuff. And so I need to get more organized in my office.
oh, don't talk to me about organization. You saw the video I sent you all, the live we tested them.
Yeah.
Just stuff everywhere. Need a bigger house. But my wife just left with the dog, so I can say that and not fear that she says, oh, you agree with me.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
So
I'm looking down. I'm not ignoring you. It's just I can't see you talking from my phone, so I look down to look at you talk. So I apologize if it looks like I'm not paying attention. I'm just going.
Gotcha. So I see you have an Amazon shop.
Yep.
Have you seen success with that? And do you have any tips?
So this is going to start kind of a little back with this, because if you have a page, like you have a drone page and mine's mostly air fryer, and you concentrate on that, Google will recommend your videos, or YouTube will recommend your videos more. And by that nature, people will see your videos more. And if you show a product that they like and that's current, keyword being current, they're more likely to go to Amazon and buy something. And the beauty about this system, and it's not a moneymaker, folks. So don't think I'm going to open a YouTube channel and make $1 million on Amazon. Doesn't happen. Well, unless you're PewDiePie and you got 50 million subscribers. But if I click on a link, like if I go out to buy a DJI Mavic Mini on Amazon, I'm going to go to your page and I'm going to click on it and I'm going to buy it. The key thing in here is to keep people interested, because if they click on that link and they say the DVI Magic Mini, or sorry, DVI Mini, I want something a little better, and they don't buy what they clicked on, but they don't close their browser session and they buy something else. Maybe it's a pair of tongs, a pair of underwear, or maybe $1,000 drone. You get credit for that.
Yeah.
That's what some people don't realize. So for me, for you, you're always doing unboxings, and that's great, because that's going to drive people. I've had these air fryers for 2.5 years. They're outdated models. I have an issue, or I take issue with putting something in my Amazon store that I haven't had hands-on experience, or at least seen or touched and felt to see how it is, because I think it's dishonest. Like you, I see you do your drone videos, you're showing things you use. So you're, from your heart, you're showing things that you use and you like. So the Amazon store would be successful as long as I update it. So right now I should be giving away 2 of my air fryers and going out and buying the latest, greatest thing. Like right over here, you'll see I have my $400 Breville oven that was replaced because the glass just shattered on its own. There was some tolerance issues, and Breville admitted it and sent me a new one. And I'm actually looking to sell it, not because I don't like it, because I like it, but because by selling that and getting something new, people are going to say, ooh, new. You know how it is. You get a shiny new car. Ooh, shiny new car. And then it wears off. The novelty of it wears off. So I think to be successful, you need to use a lot of products, try a lot of products to get people to your site. And if they buy it, great. That gives you money. And I think on a good month, I might make, 20 to 40, maybe $50 tops on Amazon. You know what I mean? In a month. In full disclosure, I did last year make a lot more than that at Christmas time. And my theory behind it is this: during Thanksgiving and Christmas, people are using air fryers more. Christmas, they get air fryers for gifts. So what are they doing? Well, how do I cook something with an air fryer? So during Christmas season and Thanksgiving, my YouTube monetization quadruples, not quadruples, almost 3 to 4 times what I normally do, because I go from having, a couple thousand visits to 100,000 visits.
Yep.
So you get that's good. So Christmas time, I'm willing to bet if you look at your views on certain videos, that's when things peak up, because people say, I wanted one, what should I get? So timing is everything. And this year I was stupid. I should have thrown out a bunch of new videos, but life comes first, my family comes first. So you really can't, I couldn't spend the time. I used to put out 4 to 8 videos a month, and now I'm putting out 1 a month or 2 if I'm lucky. But that's not because I've lost interest. It's just because, as you know, Shawn, you spend 2 hours filming something, you spend 4 hours editing it, then you got to post it, put the tags on. So you just spent a whole day of your life on a video that might only get 100 views. You don't know. You know what I mean? So it's really hard. But and it's hard to keep driven on those things. I can only cook so many things with an air fryer, but I can cook those same exact things with a new air fryer to show you how it compares. So you have so many drones, you get a new drone, you can very well compare it to everything. You know what I mean? So I think, again, short story long is you got to keep up with technology. And if they still sell the DJI, if they stop selling that DJI Mini tomorrow, you have to move on to something else is what I think you have to do. And that's in my opinion. You would know better on that front. But like with the air fryer, you can't buy these air fryers anymore. So why would I know no one's going to go to the Amazon page and say, oh, I'm going to buy this 3-year-old air fryer that sells for 3 times as much from a seller out in China or something like that. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, if they see an air fryer they like and keep that web session open and they buy a $100 air fryer, I might make a buck, you know? So again, apologies, I drone on sometimes. Short story long. I get excited when I talk about stuff I'm passionate about. So
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say for that. So here's a question for you, Shawn. What was your New Year's resolution, and did you stick by it? And does it have anything to do with your drones? It's gotta.
So my New Year's resolution, I had a whole live stream on New Year's resolutions. And so one of the resolutions that came out of that was to have guests on my show. So this is the very first
number one.
Yep. This is the first one. So, yeah. So that resolution has been kept. I don't know what the cadence is going to be yet. I feel like getting this show together took a little bit more effort than my regular show, just turning it on and like picking a topic and then seeing what happens throughout the show. But like I never had to do a mic check or anything, anything like that. And we were.
And it's good we did that,
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking like once or twice a month. There might be people that during my regular streams want to come on and I could just send them a link or something. But yeah, the guest is something that I really want to do. And then I'm trying to figure out my YouTube channel. Because there's a couple of things that, if I play the YouTube game, I'll become a person that I'm not, and I don't want to do that. So I don't want to be dishonest with people. So I don't want to like throw clickbait up there. I don't want to, like if something happens, like I wreck my Segway and scratch my protector on my GoPro, then, I'm going to use that experience to make something happen on my YouTube channel. But saying
exactly.
Do what?
I said exactly. If you show other people your mistakes, that's actually a good thing, even though your video might be goofy because of it. And I show my mistakes when I make it. And I think that's important. So stay true to yourself. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. And then the other thing that the Insta360 or the 1R was just released. And I feel like I'm the perfect person to review that, on a drone. Like that's like my whole channel is built up to this moment. And it's frustrating to not be a part of the in club that gets their cameras early and gets them for free. And they get to make, thousands of dollars on their videos because they got a free camera, and I have to spend my own money and kind of make that happen. But
I know.
So, but, I also don't want to, there's some people on Facebook that want to give me free things to review. And I'll review them on Amazon just so I can get them for free. And then if I like them good enough, then I'll review them on my YouTube channel. So, And then if I
But you have
review
to give them a
one,
5-star rating. That I've received something like, and then when you give us a 5-star rating, we will send you a check to your PayPal account. And I was like, not worth it, because if I don't like it, I can't lie. If I recommend something and I truly love the product, that's great. But if I recommend something that I don't use, that's another thing. You know, things break all the time, like the Breville oven, and it's fantastic. But
yep.
like you said, you got to stay true to yourself. If you don't really like something, you can't. You know. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
interrupting you.
And I'll usually, I'll always be honest, but sometimes I might, if I get a tripod mount that, is worth $12, then I'll say, this is worth $12. Would I use it all the time? I probably wouldn't trust it with some of my heavier cameras, but if you're looking for something small for $12 that'll do the job, then this will do it. I'll try to spin it in a positive way so that I don't offend the person that gave me a free product, but I still want to be completely honest with everybody.
Yeah, and like you say, I trust my $12 tripod with my $30 projector. My $300 projector, I'm going to use my $180 Siri tripod, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
All right. That was a question I asked you. I'm just going to grab another drink here.
All right.
This time we get orange. When I buy salsa, I buy the variety pack, and I take out of one of each flavor and stick it in the fridge, so I never drink out all of one.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So when I found your channel, you swayed me to buy an air fryer, and I love it. Since you are on the keto fit at 50 journey, how much does your air fryer play into your meal prep? Is it still your favorite tool?
It is one of my favorite tools. Things have changed a little bit, though, and it's not because of the air fryer. So when I first got my air fryer, I was buying lunch every day, buy a sub every day, whatever outside. As soon as I bought the air fryer, I went from buying lunch every day to making lunch every day, whether it was chicken and potatoes. Oh, I miss my potatoes. Roasted chicken and potatoes or burger, anything. So first of all, I saved a ton of money. I paid at the time, my air fryer was $130, I think. And now you can get the same one for $80, roughly, give or take. But the only thing I achieved when I did that was saving money and eating healthier. I didn't lose any weight, but I knew I was healthier because I was eating food that I bought, that I knew it was in it, cooked the way I wanted, with oils that I knew I wanted to use. Now, when I started keto, I was still using the air fryer just as much as ever. However, the last several months, I've been doing a lot of bulk cooking. So the air fryer is great if I want to cook a dozen sausages in it and have it over 2 days. But what I like to do now is I'll get a ton of chicken cutlets, thin breasts, and I'll mass cook them. And I'll cut them up and put them in the fridge. I call reheated food. We've got in our family, we called it used food, and we didn't like used food. But the air fryer, depending what you're cooking, is not good for making massive batches unless you're using the Breville and you got multiple layers of food and stuff like that. So do I still use it? Yes, of course, I still use it. Does it play as big as a role? No, but that's only because when I do mass cooking, like tonight, I was making chicken wings for them. I can fit 10 wings in here, let's say 8 wings, depending, more if I really wanted to. I could fit 9 drumsticks. So I could cook drumsticks in the air fryer for the family and then make some sides, whether that's corn for my daughter or broccoli for me or whatnot. So if I am cooking just for the night, yes, air fryer, definitely. If I'm cooking stuff for the week, like I'll cook 3 pounds of chicken for my chicken Caesar salad, then I'll cook that either in the oven, or I have a big pan that I put in the oven. I can cook it in 2 batches and be done with it. Whereas the air fryer, the pan's only so big, you can fit maybe 2 pieces, but with the regular pan on the stove, I can fit 4 pieces. So it still plays a huge role. It's just not for batch cooking for me, unless I want to stand here all day and monitor it and flip it and stuff like that. I can easily throw 4 trays of chicken in my big oven for for a week or two. You can freeze foods, whatever it is. But again, today, what did I do? I had 2 air fryers going because I was cooking a lot of different things. So this was a perfect fit for what I wanted to do tonight. You know,
Cool.
That's my shortest answer of the night, anyway. um, so I'm gonna jump to one question first. If you could go anywhere with your drone, because drones is the big things now. Weddings. You see photographers. High heights of weddings and commercials now. You don't need to buy a helicopter to go see some stuff. For filming, you can use a drone. If you could go anywhere to fly with your drone and film something, where would it be?
Okay. So I'm really into VR. And so there's an app on VR. National Geographic has an app, and then there's another app called Wonder. And Wonder is kind of based on like Google Maps Street View. So I can like go anywhere in the world and go into Street View and just kind of stand on the street and look around in my VR headset. So there's a couple places that I love to go in those apps. One of them is to see the Northern Lights. So I would love to video in 360 the Northern Lights from a drone, but drones can't really do that now because it's too cold, and that wouldn't happen. The other thing is a really, really hot place would be an active volcano. So I've seen, in my life, I've seen like, news footage of a volcano in Hawaii, like with lava going down the mountains or something. I would love to fly my drone around that. And then the other thing, my favorite drone video that I've ever seen was done in Alaska on an Alaskan cruise. So this guy flew his drone off of the cruise ship in Alaska, and it was like these beautiful mountains with, kind of snow-capped with like fog on the river that they were going down, and it was just beautiful. And then Brent Newman, he posted in the comments that his dream is flying the drone over the Grand Canyon, but it's illegal.
I was going to say, isn't that illegal, technically?
Yeah, that's illegal. Like national parks are against the law.
All because people can't respect other people. That's what happens.
Yeah. All right. So I changed my question. I know I sent the questions out so you'd have an answer, but I've already asked you how much weight you've lost. So I'm going to add a question, and this is kind of my concern with. I really want to go down the path that you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Lose weight. I'm diabetic, and I need to really cut out the sugars anyway. And I think what you're doing, cholesterol, you're bringing down the cholesterol levels, and just overall being healthier. I have 2 kids, and I do most of the cooking in the house. So how do you live the keto lifestyle? Does your wife and your daughter do the same thing, or do you have to cook a meal for you and then cook a meal for everybody else?
Well, there's no easy answer to that one. So luckily, like the chicken wings and chicken breadstick, drumsticks and things like that, they all like, so that's easy. However, you're right. My wife she isn't doing keto, but she's watching more of what she eats as I am. But so I do the cooking. So my thing is I'll cook something, and if my daughter wants something else, whether it's like dino chicken, that's kind of easy. Where you come into a big problem is where I'll cook for the week. If they're not going to eat that, then what happens? So in my wife's case, if I need to cook something extra, I can do it. Like one of our favorite things is, we're lucky. My daughter, if she could have steak every day, she would have steak every day, but steak is expensive. And I like it. And I get a good ribeye steak, and we buy it. Maybe it's a 20-ounce steak. And I used to cook 2 20-ounce steaks, and we would eat it and have leftovers for that. Now I cook one, and I'll cook a couple extra sides because I'll have a big salad. My salad it's a plate bigger than this, and it heaps like this. It looks like a lot of salad, but it's not. So we're simple people. As far as food goes, we don't need a 7-course meal. My mother does the 7-course meals. I think we're lucky in the sense that for the most part, everybody will eat everything here. Now you have 2 kids, so that becomes harder. One wants hamburgers, one wants hot dogs. But if you're grilling during the nicer weather, like I saw you cook the chicken a night or 2 ago, it's easy. You just kind of flip everything out and take it out. And if you know how long something takes to cook, so it's not easy. And what's going to end up happening is my wife, for instance, one time, an example, she went out and I wasn't going to be home for dinner. I had to work late or something. And I came home and they were eating Chinese food. So they went out to Chinese, and I can't eat Chinese food. So it's one of those things. It's really hard. It's really difficult. If you don't, it's really hard to do it alone. It's even harder if you're doing it alone and you're cooking stuff for everybody else, stuff that you want to eat that you can't eat. So there's really no simple answer for that. Is you just gotta. Oh, am I in your way? I'm gonna just shift my camera a little bit here. Here I am. I'm sorry. So it's it's hard. I don't have an easy solution for you because I don't know what their tastes are, and chances are that you're gonna be cooking 3 different things. You know, you can just hope for the best and say, well, we're all having broccoli tonight, or we're all having rice tonight, or whatever the case is. Rice, not for keto, but you know, there's got to be a common ground. Oh, burgers and dogs, or burgers and chicken, and you know, you have a few different sides, a side or 2 that you can eat and a side or 2 that they can eat. But otherwise, you're going to be killing yourself, you know, making 3 different meals for 3 different people. Or people just got to live with leftovers. If I have leftovers, that's what I'll eat. I got meatloaf left over, keto meatloaf in the fridge and stuff like that. Just reheat it. Same with them if there's something. My daughter's been easy. She wants dino chicken every night, it seems, these days. So other than steak, you know, that's what she will do. Or the chicken. She likes the finger licking good, as she says. So
yeah.
So I don't have an easy answer for you there. It's you just got to hope that they'll back you, and someone's walking across. They'll back you, and they'll make your life easier. Or you just say, "This is what I'm making. If you like it, great. If you don't, go pour yourself a bowl of cereal."
Cool. Well, I think we've been on here long enough. I'm getting sleepy, and I'm getting really hungry.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I skipped dinner so I could see what you were going to cook, and then that would decide what I was going to eat. And I've been starving this entire live stream.
And I apologize because I was still eating a little bit, and I'm like, I feel like I've gorged and anything, but I just had 4 chicken wings, and I did have that whole pizza. So that was actually quite a bit. I'll have to figure out my macros of what I ate to see if I blew it or not. I think I'm well under the cut. Chicken is a good, by the way, any type of beef, chicken or fish, that's great because there's typically no carbs in that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of protein, but you got to learn to balance your protein and your fats. You know, cheese, fats, you know, different type of dressings. Anyway, butter and bacon fat, lots of fat in there.
So if we go to your YouTube channel, do you have any like a keto playlist, or
I do. Yep.
How do we find out how to do what you're doing so that we can learn how to be like Mario?
Well, you want to be better than Mario. That's the key. So I do have playlists. I have several playlists. I have like my digital decorations, my air fryer, my keto. Now there's a mix. So I have an air fryer playlist. Some of the stuff in that may be keto friendly, some not. Some aren't. But if you like omit the corn that I made, sure. You know what I mean? An example is I made this sausage wrapped in bacon, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I remember
that's keto. Oh, you remember that? Yeah. Oh, I remember the comment. And another thing, if you take out the bread, there's opens up a lot of opportunities. So yes, there's an air fryer playlist, there's a keto playlist, and just search. If you search for Mario Monti, you're going to come up with the Italian EU commissioner. So just type in Mario Monti air fryer or something like that, and Monti. If you type in Y, it brings you somewhere else. But you'll find it, and you'll find all the playlists once you find my page. You know, and as always, please like and subscribe. I always answer the questions as best as I can, and I would appreciate any feedback, negative or otherwise.
Yeah, I just realized that I did not put your link in the description. Feel stupid.
You
So,
can always add it later.
so I'm going to add it to this video after the fact, and please go to Mario's channel and subscribe to him. We had about the same amount of subscribers at one point, and now he's surpassed me. So I'm going to try to get those numbers up. But Mario, thank you so much for being on the channel tonight.
Thank you, Shawn. This was awesome. I have to say.
I thought this was a good time.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So yeah, I'm gonna close the chat out, but everybody say goodbye to Mario.
Bye, everyone. Thank you very much. And here's to your New Year's resolution, right?
Yep. All right, guys. So that was it. That was Mario Monti live on Shawn Ide Studios. We had a good night. There were people in and out. It wasn't an interactive with the audience tonight as usual, but overall, I thought it was a pretty cool chat. I'm flustered. I don't have words. But thanks for hanging out on my channel. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. We'll at least do this once a month, but we might do it every other week, depending on what we do. And I'm planning on chatting with other people at other times that are not the Tuesday night studio sessions. So look forward to, drone chat on Saturday evening or something like that. But I don't know what the format's going to be yet, but I thought this went really, really well. And yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful night. Again, please go subscribe to Mario Monti. Check out his channel, especially if you're into the keto lifestyle or you're into air fryers. He is an amazing cook, and he does some amazing things with food that most people mess up. So, yeah. Have a wonderful night, and I am going to go get something to eat because that food looks great. So, peace out, guys. Catch you on the next live stream. Catch you on the next video. Maybe in live. Peace out.